Hello everybody, welcome back. YAJE here, and in today's video I will be sharing with you how I make my signature crowd-pleasing soya. The reason why you should definitely try this recipe is because it tastes so good, and then you can feed a crowd with it. You can make it for potlucks, take it to events, and then you can make it in the barbecue grill that you probably have in the backyard. It really needs no special equipment. I will show you step by step how to make this recipe. But before we get started, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and click on the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my signature recipes such as this one. Thank you. For my Cameroonian style soya, I use brisket. For this recipe, I had about 12.5 pounds of brisket. After washing the brisket, what I do is cut the brisket up into strips like so. The brisket I had was already pre-trimmed. That is, some of the fat was removed. We want to have some fat on the meat, but if you get brisket that has a lot of visible fat, you might want to trim off some of the excess fat. But please do leave some fat on the meat because that leaves you with moist soya. The reason why I cut up the brisket into strips like this is, number one, so that I can season the meat well. So when I have it in smaller strips like this, I can get the seasoning to every part of the beef to make for a tasty soya. The second reason is it cooks faster. It cooks faster when I have it cut up into smaller bits. And then the third reason is that after I cook the brisket, you have that brown, crunchy outer layer throughout the beef. Okay, so now we have the brisket cut up. The next step is to season the brisket. I am very minimalist when it comes to seasoning up my brisket. I use only 2 ingredients to season the brisket. The 2 ingredients, Maggi cubes and salt, and that is it. And the ratio that I have found that works is 1 Maggi cube per pound of brisket, because the size of the brisket you get is going to vary. So if you get 10 pounds, use 10 cubes. If it's 5 pounds, I've never seen a 5-pound brisket, use 5 cubes, and so on and so forth. And then for the salt, the ratio that I have found that works is 1/4 teaspoon per pound. So here I have about a tablespoon because I had 12 pounds. Okay, so that's just some place to start with. You can adjust to suit your taste. So I crush the Maggi cubes, mix it with salt, and then proceed to season the meat by rubbing it in. So as you can see, I start with 1 layer of the meat in a pan, and then I add a layer of seasoning, the seasoning mix, that's the Maggi cube and the salt, and then rub it in, add another layer, and so on and so forth. The idea is to make sure that you rub the seasoning in. After you season the brisket, you can let it sit for 2 hours for the meat to be properly seasoned, or up to overnight. The next step now is to prepare the grill. I told you you can do this on a regular charcoal grill. This is oak wood charcoal. I'm going to light up the grill now. Pour the charcoal in here and light it up. The super secret ingredient for this soya is this apple barbecue wood cooking chunks. They have it in stores. It adds just a mild flavor that makes the soya so tasty. Do not use mesquite. I find that the flavor of mesquite is too strong. Stick with that apple wood. Again, most stores carry it where they sell charcoal. Okay, now this is the next step. Pay attention. You're going to need aluminum foil, heavy duty, and parchment paper. So I use the parchment paper to line the aluminum foil and then put the meat on top like so. Of course, we're adding the meat to the grill after the charcoal was already hot, and then I added that wood, the oak wood, to the grill as well. So now I'm just going to add the meat, and then I'm going to create like how you call a barrier. Yeah, I'm going to create a barrier, like a little packet around our meat like so, so that the juices that are released from the meat when it's cooking don't run over to the grill. Yeah, I also like to cover the meat with another piece of foil to retain the heat. Brisket is a very tough cut of beef, so we want to cook it at the same time smoke it. Okay, so just keep an eye on the grill. I'm cooking it by indirect heat, I should add. I have the charcoal right under the meat, but then the wood is to the side. So the wood, produces the fire that adds heat and the smoke, but this is not directly under that foil pack. If you can see, the charcoal is under and then the wood is to the side. This is very important because if you have that fire directly under your meat, it's really going to burn. I close my grill really well and let it cook for at least 1 hour. As it is cooking, I keep throwing in chunks of that apple wood to the grill, so it's gonna burn off, and then I throw in more. I don't go very crazy with the apple wood. Again, every now and then just come and check on your meat and make sure that it is okay. So I keep cooking the meat. After about an hour, it looks like this. If I find that it released too much juice, I then open it up and let the some of that juice or the water evaporate to concentrate the flavor. Be sure to be turning over your meat so that it cooks evenly. And then, from now on, it's just tenderizing your brisket. So I keep cooking it until it's done to your likeness. Sometimes it takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so, and your Cameroonian style soya is ready. I just take it to the potluck or to the event. Then when I get there, I cut it up into pieces, because if you cut it up before taking it, it can just dry up. The brisket is a very dry cut of beef. It doesn't have fat right inside. It has a layer of fat around it, but the meat itself does not have fat. So it is best to cut it up just when you are about to serve it, like I am doing right now. Everybody loved it. I hope you give this method a try, and if you do, please let me know. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please leave a thumbs up. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you're asking if this is healthy or not, the answer is maybe. The answer is maybe.